Hi everyone, welcome to my tutorial. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to make these cute Santa and Mrs. Claus Cupcake Toppers with fondant. This is a collaboration with my high school friend Nishani. Head over to her channel CakeNV Twincesses and see how she made these adorable Christmas macaroons. Okay, let's get started. These are the fondant colors I will be using. A light peach, white, gray, red, a tiny bit of black, green, and a tiny bit of pink. First, I'm going to add some Tylose powder into the light peach. This way it will help it dry and harden. So throughout this video, I'll be using water as glue. Okay, and I'm using a circle cutter that's roughly the same size as the top of my cupcakes. And I'll also be using one that is slightly bigger. Cut out a circle for the face, and right now I'm just going to do an extra one as well for Mrs. Claus. With the bigger cutter, cut out a white circle. This will be Santa's beard, and then glue it onto his face. Okay, and now I'm going to use the red fondant, and I'm making the top of his hat. With a bigger cutter, cut out a white border for Santa's hat, and I'm using the back of my X-Acto knife to make the lines. Okay, and now I'm making his mustache. So when I want two pieces to be the exact same size, I roll it into a ball and then I cut it right in the center. Okay, and now I'm shaping it with my fingers, and I like pinching the end to make them curl up. And then take a small piece of black fondant and do the same. Roll it to a small ball and then cut it in half. These are going to be his eyes. And I'm also doing the same thing for his eyebrows, except I'm rolling the white fondant a little longer. And then just a tiny ball for his nose. Okay, and to finish the hat, roll the red fondant again. And with a circle cutter, trim off a piece and attach it to the top of his head. I'm gonna let a little bit overlap the white border. And then the last thing is just to add a little pom-pom. And this is Santa, isn't he cute? Okay, let's start with Mrs. Claus now. So I'm using the circle I had previously cut already, and then roll out the gray fondant and use the bigger circle cutter. And then place the peach over the gray so you have an idea of where you want her hairline to be. So for my style, I like to make the forehead a little bigger. I always think it looks cuter like that. And when you glue it onto the gray circle, leave a little bit of gray at the bottom and then trim it off. This way we'll get the entire thing a little smaller again so it fits onto your cupcake. So roll a small piece of peach with round ends and then cut the ends off, and these are her ears. Then with two smaller circle cutters, we're going to make her glasses. So try to find two circle cutters that are similar in size so the frame isn't too thick. So set them aside so it has time to dry and stiffen up a bit before we work with them. And then cut 3 very tiny pieces of rectangles. This will complete the frames. Okay, so find the center of her face and glue one of the small pieces down. This will act as a marker for us. From there, I'm using the circle cutter that I used for the glasses, and I'm marking where it will sit on her face. So that way I know where to draw her eyes now. I'm using an edible black marker. You can also use a very fine brush with black colored gel as well. With a very small piece of pink fondant, roll it into a ball, and just like before, cut it in half so we have 2 equal sized pieces again. So roll these 2 into a perfect ball, and then with the back of your X-Acto knife, press down onto them. This is how I make small circles. Glue them under her eyes. Then glue the glasses frame and also the 2 sides. Now glue a circle at the top of her hair for her bun. And now with the red fondant, I'm making her hair bow. I'm just shaping them with my fingers. I'm just making it into triangles. And the same way that we made her blush, do the same with a very tiny bit of red. And then cut the bottom half, and this will be her smile. Okay, Santa and Mrs. Claus are done. If you want to add a bit more detail, you can also add holly leaves. So with a small circle cutter, make 4 almond shapes. And then with another cutter, I'm using a capital letter A. You can use other letters, P would work, Y will also work, so with X. A lot of other letters would work as well, or if you have a small circle cutter, that would be great. I'm cutting out the negative space to make the edges. And then place it behind Santa's pom-pom and Mrs. Claus' bow. Okay, and that's it, they're done. So I'm gonna let them dry overnight. Okay, so I'm just using a wet brush to brush off any cornstarch and sugar powder marks. Just brush very gently and don't use too much water or else the colors will run. For the final touches, I'm using AmeriColor Bright White and Edible Arts Silver. Both are edible paint. I'm painting silver over Mrs. Claus' glasses, and if you're going to do this as well, make sure you get all the sides. And lastly, for Santa, I'm adding 2 white dots at the top right corner of his eyeballs. I do this for all my figurines. It's a small detail, but it makes a huge difference. Okay, and we're done. I hope you guys liked this tutorial. And don't forget to check out CakeNV Twincesses' adorable creations over at her channel. And I want to wish everyone a happy and safe holiday. Thanks for watching.